Hey good people, and welcome back to the channel. Now normally, I post reviews for new episodes of Hell's Kitchen on Thursdays, but because of the World Series being aired tonight, I decided to post a movie review. This review is coming from the movie on the Tubi platform called Non-Disclosure, starring Nelson Davis. And if there's one thing you should know about Nelson Davis, it's that if you happen to see him on a movie on Tubi, just know that the story is going to be crazy. But for this review, I'm going to give you a brief summary of the movie, followed by what I liked and disliked about the movie Non-Disclosure. Then I'll cap the review off with an overall rating. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. The movie Non-Disclosure follows the main character Omari Livingston. Omari just started a new job at a company with a very shady boss. Now how many people can really relate to this? Omari's new boss, Ivan, he's a very sarcastic, control freak who thinks that he's the smartest and funniest person in the room. Later on in the story, we learn that Ivan has a beautiful wife, a wife who has quite the sexual appetite, and Ivan just can't keep up with her. Ivan knows that his wife's happiness is important, so Ivan comes up with an idea that makes everybody a winner. Ivan gives Omari a promotion at the company. This promotion pays Omari a great deal of money, and in exchange for this job opportunity, Omari has to give Ivan's wife that good old pickle tickle whenever Ivan's wife has an itch that needs to be scratched. Ivan also makes Omari sign a non-disclosure agreement, which prevents Omari from talking about the arrangement with Ivan at work or anybody else in or outside of work. Omari soon realizes that he is in way over his head, and he learned that Ivan made his wife sign an NDA as well as a prenup, which means that she doesn't get anything if she leaves the marriage. As Omari looks for a way out of the situation, things take a turn for the worse. And that's my summary for the movie. Now there were a few things that I liked about the movie Disclosure. I actually liked the main story for the movie. Believe it or not, these type of things actually happen in the workplaces around the world, and it's more common than one would think. Now of course there are levels to this type of things that happen between employers and employees, but I appreciated this movie because I highly doubt that a mainstream production company will be willing to make this kind of movie with A-list actors. I also like the character Ivan. Ivan was definitely a jerk and a pest, but the actor who brought Ivan to life did a great job in making me hate the character, and I was actually rooting for the character to get what was coming to him. Ivan was highly manipulative, he was egotistical, and he was essentially everything that you would look for when creating a villain for a movie. And lastly, I like the runtime for this movie. Non-Disclosure clocks in with the runtime well under an hour and a half long, so I never really got bored while watching it, and I didn't have any issues with the movie's pacing. However, there were a few things that I did not like about the movie Disclosure. First, the character Omari has a girlfriend in the movie, but he and his girlfriend break up right before Ivan gives him the promotion. All in all, the whole side plot with Omari's girlfriend really didn't seem to go anywhere. Thus, in my opinion, Omari having a girlfriend really wasn't needed for this movie, unless she was going to play a much larger role than she did. Next, I gotta address how idiotic the character Omari was. Omari came off as very naive when dealing with Ivan. Omari never really questioned why Ivan gave him the promotion, and this was only after working in the company a couple of days. He also never questioned why Ivan would give him an expensive watch after learning about the promotion. And in addition to that, Omari signed a non-disclosure agreement without reading the papers, or at the very least, having an attorney read them so that he would know what he's getting himself into. Those papers could have been anything, and Omari would have gotten got if the right shyster had crossed paths with him. Now one nitpick that I have about the movie is that with a name like Disclosure, we as the audience really never learned what the penalty was if Omari broke confidentiality. And I think that this is important because Omari broke confidentiality quite a few times in the movie, and there were no consequences for it. Which makes me wonder, what would Ivan really have done if he found out that Omari was telling everybody about the situation? But there were two more things that I didn't really care for with this movie. First, while the sex scenes were pretty entertaining, Omari was fully naked while Ivan's wife had her clothes on, or she was partially naked. And to me, this is an issue, because my policy when it comes to sex scenes in movies is that actors should go hard or go home. Meaning that if they're going to make us as the viewing audience think that they're having sex, then they both should play the part, meaning that they both should be naked. And if the female actress is hesitant about showing her body, then hire a body double who isn't, so that there can be some authenticity to the scene. And second, Omari's decision to devise a plan to kill Ivan so that he and Ivan's wife could take over the company just further proved how idiotic Omari was. To be completely honest, Omari was actually in a good situation. He was getting paid a lot of money to sleep with another man's wife without any retaliation. I know a lot of guys out there who would have rode that gravy train until the wheels fell off. And Omari sharing his plan to kill Ivan while hearing the objections of Ivan's wife should have been a clear sign for Omari to abandon the plan. Nevertheless, on a scale of 1 to 10, I will give this movie a strong 6. While I had my issues with the movie, I was still entertained with what I saw, and I appreciated the movie for what it was. In terms of recommending this movie to others, I think that this is a movie that folks should see at least once to form their own opinion on. But this marks the end of my review. If you have any questions or comments about the movie, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll reply to everybody. Until next time, stay tuned and stay safe. Peace.